Alright guys, Southeast Softwash. I'm going to put this up on my YouTube channel as a reference for our truck bed setup. This is kind of, very similar to some that you can go out and purchase, but we made this one ourselves. So it's basically the same thing. You can vary this and set it up on a trailer, set it up on a truck bed, but we like the truck bed. So we'll start out on this side just to kind of give you an idea of what we're doing here. In this box here, it's just a Dewalt Toolbox. We've got two deep cycle marine batteries, and here I'll lift the lid up and let you guys kind of, if you can see down in there, looks like a mess of wires, but it's really not. Really just, it's two Optima deep cycle batteries, one battery for each pump. The pumps are actually right here. If you step back over there and just look down the side of the bed, pump. So what's going on is the pumps are screwed to the inside of the truck, what's it called? Bed. My mind is blank. The truck bed guard. And they're running into here and they're wired up with two switches. So if you look right here on the side, if you don't have a switch, you're not going to be able to cut the pump off. So we can cut our pumps on and cut our pumps off. This is one, this is the other. Battery charger sits on top, and it's kind of, it's not perfect, but this works. I just leave this over it so that it doesn't get rained on, and I've got a little strap that, that's pretty much waterproof, so when it rains, this thing's not waterproof. This is a dual battery charger, so the way I did have it set up is I had these that screwed on the front here, and you can basically have two batteries charging at once, 15 amps a piece. But these things are finicky. The first one we had worked perfect on dual charge. I could come home at the end of the day, plug up my little cord here, and charge both batteries overnight easily. Within just a few hours, they'd actually both be topped off. A typical day for us runs them down to about 50%. They still work fine, but when you check the battery voltage, it'll be around 40 to 50, 60%, somewhere in there, and they would charge up. It's the second one of these I bought, and this one doesn't work that good, so I'm just swapping the cables in there. I'll charge one battery, then charge the other. But you've got to have a power source, so battery power works good, and you've got to have a way to recharge it. So that's kind of the way we're doing that. Then, of course, like I said, the pumps are here. You got the wiring just kind of tucked up here. It's not pretty. It's not too crazy. I mean, it's not like a spaghetti pile of wires, but it works okay. Here is our proportioning system. These are Pro Mix-a-Lot V3s, V2s, I'm sorry. Basically, this is, my neighbor's duck is going crazy over there in the background, but water, surfactant soap tank, and bleach tank. This is my bleach tank. These are my water tanks in the back, and then the soap tank is the little line over here going to that small one. So they're exact same thing. Water, soap, bleach, just goes right in there. So if we're doing, a roof, it may be like that. Water all the way on. SH, that would be a 50-50 blend for an extremely nasty roof, which we hardly ever would go that strong. Somewhere right in there, and then the soap all the way on. Usually, if we're doing a house wash, it's not pulling a lot of soap anyway, so I usually just throw the soap all the way on. But the water always stays all the way on. At the end of the day, the good thing about this is batch mixing is not that much of a pain in the butt to me, but the key that I like is to be able to vary my ratios throughout the day depending on what job I'm doing. So if I do a roof in the morning and do a house wash in the evening, I can adjust here. Once you mix a batch, there's no way to change that batch unless you add more bleach or add more water, and then it's just easier to have a pure bleach tank, pure water tanks, and change your ratios on the fly like this. At the end of the day, we come home, we cut bleach and soap off, leave water on, and we rinse for 5 minutes. We run water through our pumps, and that keeps everything cleaned out. Now, these backflow preventers will eventually rust out, and that's why I've got an extra backflow preventer up here on the water tanks that keeps bleach from getting into my water tanks. It's not a huge deal if a little bit of water seeps into the bleach tank, because it ain't going to be enough to make any difference. But I definitely don't want bleach in here, because then I'm not going to be able to rinse out at the end of the day. I'm just rinsing with bleach water, which is doing nothing. So that works pretty good. Got a little bit of space here that we can keep a couple of wands for our pressure washer. This is the 7 gallon a minute Everflow pump. We've been using these. I actually swapped this one out today. This one's still running, so just going to keep it in here as a spare. It's actually in pretty good shape. Still got a lot of life left in that one. And I put a 5.5 gallon a minute brand new one on here today, and I think after experimenting with them, obviously it's 2 gallons a minute or 1.5 gallons a minute less flow, but we're getting about the same distance, and so I'm probably going to go with this. It puts less demand on the pumps, less demand on the battery. Sometimes we'll melt these switches with the 7 gallon a minute. They're pulling so many amps. These little switches come from AutoZone. They're like $4, but I'm getting tired of replacing them. So I'm going to try these 5.5 gallon a minute Everflows for a while and see if we get close to the same performance. We're probably just going to go with those from now on. The Everflows have been really good to us. This is just our, little hose reel that we screwed to the bed cover there, and that's got 200 foot of hose on there, good quality hose. Pressure washer right now, it's just sitting on the tailgate, which I don't really like. It's got a strap on there to keep it from coming off, but we've been running it like this for a couple of weeks, and I'm scheduled to drop my truck off at the end of this week. I've got a good friend who is a welding instructor at a local trade school, and what he's going to do is weld all this stuff up for us so that it's one unit. Those 2 tall tanks in the back, they're actually sitting on what this used to be was a Northern Tool and Equipment skid. It's a little skid sprayer you buy that's got a Honda engine and a little Comet pump. Well, I took the Honda engine off and the Comet pump off years ago, and it just so happened that those 2 tall 55 gallon tanks fit perfectly on the foot of that skid. So that is all kind of one piece. What I'm going to have done is have that welded up and just put some bars around there, some square tubing to just kind of box those 2 upper tanks in so they can't move around. Tie it all in as one piece so that I can lift it off the truck with a forklift. But it works great because it's pretty sturdy. Soap tank, it just all kind of fit in there like puzzle pieces, so it worked out pretty good. The only thing I'm not super happy with, which he is going to replace, is this 2x10 that's sitting here to mount the hose reels to. I've got it bolted to the top plate of the truck bed, but he's going to replace this with a piece of plate aluminum, and so if the hose reels spring a leak, it'll look better being aluminum than just a plank of wood there. And if the hose reels do happen to leak, it ain't going to really hurt that aluminum any. Sometimes you're going to get leaks right here at these elbows. Bleach is just so corrosive, so that's just kind of makeshift for now. But we sold our enclosed trailer. Much better on a truck bed for us. Some of these lake homes we do, the driveways are so steep, it is almost impossible to get an enclosed trailer in and out of these driveways. This is just so much easier. You're not pulling a trailer around. So yeah, these tanks were custom molded for us from Tank Depot, and I really like that because I've got 1 tank per, everything's individual. These are 2 totally separate systems. So I can have one guy spraying a roof on a certain ratio and the other guy spraying a siding on a certain ratio. Some of these jobs we go to, they don't have any water on location. Way out in the country, they've got really piss poor well water, so low pressure. We can have one just on water and one doing the house wash, and you can rinse on the truck, so we don't absolutely have to have water there. If we've got 55 gallons of water when we leave the house in the morning, usually that'll get us through any kind of little funky house jobs like that. So that's the setup up there. Just a regular ladder rack, extension ladder, and our flat surface cleaner fits right on top of there pretty good. You got it strapped down, works great. It's not heavy, so it's not really too much aggravation to get up there and get that thing up and down. It's not as bad as it looks. What's going to happen when he welds this up is this cart is going to go away and actually just take the motor and the pressure washer itself. He's going to build me a little metal platform there that will be over the height of the tailgate when it's closed, and the hose reel will be under it. Little platform with a shelf on top, and that will mount somewhere like here. There'll be a metal plate that will actually mount on, so this won't have to move. That'll sit above it, and it'll occupy this space right here, so that'll allow me to shut the tailgate, and all that'll be bolted down, and that'll be a whole lot better. So you know, you can go to Softwash Systems and buy a $12,000 skid, or you can build your own. I've got about maybe $3,000 in all that, maybe $3,500. So it's not too bad. It's homemade, but it's kind of on the higher end of homemade. If you know what you're trying to accomplish, it's not rocket surgery. It's pretty easy. So yeah, that's it, guys. That is our truck bed setup for soft washing. If you're going to just build one pump, not have a dual system like we do, it'd be a lot easier. You wouldn't need 2 tanks, 2 hose reels, 2 pumps. You wouldn't need 2 batteries. So if you're just going to have one pump and maybe keep a spare in the truck, I do encourage you to do that. Keep a spare pump in the truck. It would be easier, but we've usually got a crew of 2 to 3, so it's, you know, it's nice having the capability of having 2 pumps running. So that's it, guys. If you got any questions, if you have a question, you want to PM me, or you know, if you've got my number, contact us on Facebook. So that's it. Had some requests for that. Hope that helps you guys, and wash on.